Yep.
All right. And welcome back to the Buzzer Heaters podcast. We're a bunch of college students, and we're going to give our takes on the perspective of sports. Why listen to Tony Kornheiser? He's 71 years old. And you know what? We're college students. Let us dive deep into the modern day era of sports, because that is our job. Today, we have our first interview. Michael Hurt. Michael, before we dive deep into the interview, we would like for you to just describe to our audience who you are.
Yeah, so for the past 4 years, I've been on the University of Minnesota men's basketball team. Got to go to 2 tournaments in my 4 years, and yeah, I was a Mr. Basketball runner-up to one of my teammates, Amir Coffey, and then now I'm just graduated from Minnesota, and my basketball kind of runs in my family. My brother goes to Duke. My sister's got several offers. Just finishing up sophomore year of high school. So yeah, basketball's kind of been really big for my family.
Sure. Holy shit, you have an athletic fucking family. And you know what? Past that, which you did not mention, which I saw, that you made the academic all Big Ten honors team. That's fucking sick.
Yeah, no, I had a 4.0 in high school, so academics were doing shit. So yeah.
That's impressive. Yeah, you hit the books for sure.
Yeah, so we know you mentioned the tournament. So describe the feeling that you had when you found out that the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament was canceled. I know you guys were right around the bubble, so I'm sure you guys were really looking forward to making a statement in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, I think, we saw a path, in the Big Ten tournament. I think we ended up beating Northwestern. We had Iowa, who, we had them beat. We were up like 6 with like a minute to go. We had, I think, Illinois, who we were down 1 with like a minute to go at their place. We felt confident playing against anybody. We didn't really fear anybody. So I think that's always a great mentality to have. And I think that we were one team that nobody really wanted to play in the Big Ten tournament at that point. So yeah, I think, it was weird. I'll always say I made it to 2 out of 3 tournaments now, just because like there just wasn't a tournament. So yeah, it's weird because the way I look at it is just, not a lot of people get to end their careers on a W. So yeah, I guess that was kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
I think it's something crazy that you played in the Big Ten. Like, my opinion, best conference in basketball this year. Every fucking game was a pick 'em pretty much.
It was crazy.
Yeah, no, I think that was the craziest part about this season was, the ACC was really down. Besides, a couple teams up at the top. The Big 12 wasn't too great, but for us, every single team, and we were towards the bottom or the middle of the pack for most of the season, and we were, in every single game, and thought we could win every single game, and everything just came down to execution in those last 2 minutes of the game. So yeah, no, it was crazy because you looked at they do all the stats and shit, and it was like a quad 1 game for every single team you played. So it was like every single one's going to be a resume booster if you get a win. So
yeah. Out of all the Big Ten schools, which was the hardest to play at? Which fan base was the rowdiest?
That's really tough. Honestly, from my own opinion, I would put Purdue is probably the biggest sleeper. I don't know how much you guys know about Purdue's environment, but they always sold out when we were there. We played them my freshman year. They were top 15 in the country. They had Swanigan. So I would say Purdue, and then Michigan State is kind of an obvious one. It just feels like they're all on top of you. They got the student section all the way around. They have other fans above. So it just feels a lot louder than it probably is in there. And I would probably put those 2 in their own category. And then again, when you go into Big Ten season, those crowds sell out, and it gets kind of wild.
Was there ever a team? So was there ever a team, Big Ten, non-Big Ten, that you or your teammate just went into and you're like, I just want to fucking destroy these guys? Like, I know you want to win every game, but like this game you were built different for this game.
No, I think that would for sure be Wisconsin. They're obviously our rivals and everyone hates them, but I think it was, it was just, I don't know. It was something about Wisconsin that we always wanted to beat them. My freshman year and sophomore year, I think we went out of the 4 games because we played them twice a year. We went to 3 out of 4 games, went to overtime. So we were always in like great games with them. And I think it was nothing like like, winning at the Kohl Center and getting that place to shut the hell up. So yeah, I guess that would probably be the one.
I mean, nothing like when the other crowd is just not fucking talking and you guys own that court. That's gotta be the best fucking feeling.
Greatest feeling.
Yeah, no, I think Purdue is probably the one where I probably felt that the most because their crowd was so loud the entire game. I think it was my freshman year, and I think we went to either overtime or double overtime. And when we went up like 5 with like 20 seconds to go, that place, I mean, it was the quietest that I have ever heard it. I mean, it was just like you could hear a pin drop.
Shut them the fuck up.
It was insane because every single crowd when they score a bucket or get 2 feels like they're on like a 12-0 run. That's the biggest thing is trying to maintain composure, with all that going on.
100%. So like having that feeling. So like another question we have is like having that feeling of like being on top, kind of. You had to feel that all in high school. Like you had to be the fucking man in high school. Like everywhere you go, you're dapping up people in the hallways. Oh, yo, what's up, Mike? Yo, what's up? Like, shit like that, But like, how was the recruiting process like? Were you treated like by like royalty to some of these schools? Like, I know you chose Minnesota. You're from Minnesota, but like, tell me about that experience and other experiences you had.
For sure. Yeah. So I think I started out. I think my first offer was Davidson, and then I got quite a few other mid majors: Northern Iowa, South Dakota State. So I got quite a few mid majors. I think probably like 7 or 8, and then I think my first Big Ten offer was Nebraska. When Tim Miles was there, he was a good friend with my high school coach, and he had come to see me several times. And so he offered me first, and then I think Northwestern and Minnesota followed suit pretty quickly after that. And then I had several interests from a lot of other schools, but I committed early into my junior year, so I really didn't let all that play out. I got an unofficial offer from Stanford just because they can't offer until like after your junior year, like they have to see your transcript just to make sure like you're going to be good academically. But I had several of them. I had several Ivy League schools. So yeah, I mean, I had a lot of those more academic schools, but so I had 3 Big Ten schools when I committed. So yeah, no, it was a crazy time. I mean, AAU is a very it's a very interesting scene when you with the Adidas, Nike, and Under Armour circuits, and just seeing how far they've gotten since then. But yeah, I mean, it's a great tool for all the coaches to come see them all in one place. So yeah.
Were you always set on Minnesota? Is that where you wanted to go?
I grew up always like cheering for the Gophers as a kid. So I guess that that was one place that I really, really loved. Another place was Louisville, just because a lot of my family went there, or not a lot, a couple of my family members went there, so we always cheered for them as well. But most of my family and my parents went to Murray State, which is where John Morant went. And my grandpa played college basketball there for I think a year maybe. So yeah, so it was kind of cool just to have my parents being from there and seeing what Ja had did for them. But yeah, so I don't know, it was cool just to kind of go through that whole process.
I mean, Ja would have been a deadly duo.
For sure.
I would like to point out first, I think Ja might be not the best player we're mentioning. Cameron Payne, I mean, that's my legend.
No, Cameron Payne, and then I'm trying to remember who they're so like known for their point guards. They had another point guard before that. Can't remember, forgetting his name, but yeah, they've always been known for having really good point guards that have turned out well in the league.
Like Cameron Payne, he would like dap up Westbrook before those games, and they had like every handshake. That shit was wild. So like when I think like, did you have like handshakes with your teammates that you were just like crazy, or like did you guys have like celebrations on the bench, like the Brooklyn Nets doing like this? Like, did you guys do shit like that and get into that?
I don't know. We didn't really have. I personally didn't have a whole lot of complicated handshakes. I know a lot of my teammates did, but on the bench, we always. Daniel Otero, one of our big men, who's declared for the NBA draft. His favorite player was always Kobe, and I think it was like the Michigan game. I can't remember if it was Teskey or someone else was guarding him, but he was just killing him. I think he ended up with like 30-some points. But I just started doing this, is the Kobe thing where everyone just get the fuck out the way. That was his favorite player, and he started laughing when he saw me over there doing it. He just kept killing him. So that was one of my favorite things to do, and also just like. I guess like doing the too little one, just like the little Westbrook, put his hand to the floor, a little too little. So yeah, those are probably two of my favorite celebrations because my my teammates, we were even making jokes about it in the middle of the game. So.
I'm glad you put Teskey in his place because that guy is fucking annoying. Oh my, that guy sucks. He's just one of those annoying players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's just a huge dude, and like I don't know, he doesn't look like he would have great like foot speed or be able to block shots, but I mean he's pretty good. He's pretty good for a guy that you wouldn't think would be as athletic.
Yeah, that's why he's frustrating.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I go to the University of Illinois. Fucking, I always love that bro. Like, obviously, like it's like when you see guys that like look unathletic and they just hoop. Like Garza is just annoying to fucking watch.
Garza's so
Man, he looks.
That makes sense.
The comparison, like, obviously, it's not exactly a comparison, but we always talked about how he reminds us like Nikola Jokic because his body's like terrible too. You wouldn't think he's good at basketball either, but I mean, yeah, Luka, he's so skilled. He just posts. I don't know like how you can like really explain his game, but like posting up hard is like I don't know how you can like make that an art, but I mean he does. He finds a way.
Yeah, shit's definitely crazy. It doesn't even make sense.
For sure.
Yeah, so going about your teammates. So after a W, like what would you and the guys do after? Like would you guys go party? Would you go to bars? Like what would like a typical night after a W look like?
Yeah, I mean it kind of depended, honestly. We did like to go out. We did like to go out. So that was one of the things we usually did. Otherwise, we would just kind of either hang at somebody's apartment and just hang out. So yeah, I don't know. It kind of depended. It depended on the night and depended on the win. So like if we would go, I think Ohio State when we beat them this year when they were I think the 5th team in the country. It was like a Sunday night. It was like an 8:00 game. So nobody was out, so we went to the bar by ourselves, or a couple of my teammates and I went and just drank by ourselves, and just got drunk together. So yeah, it was good.
I mean, so you're going to the bars with the boys, obviously after a big W. Like, what do you toss it back? Like, what's your order?
Like what do we order to drink or what?
Yeah, that's the go-to drink.
I don't know, probably rum and coke. Honestly, that was probably the go-to. Any kind of rum and coke.
Yeah. I mean, it works. All right, so speaking of bars and just going out with the boys after, don't have to name names at all, but you or a teammate, is there any crazy fucking story that just like, what the hell happened?
I don't know if I would have any crazy stories. I know that I don't know if you guys had like a spring jam or like a spring concert or whatever. We would always have those in the spring, and I think that was just always a crazy time because they would block off like our apartment, the block that our apartment was on, because there would just be people filling the entire streets, just all drunk and having a good time, and they'd be blasting music from all the houses and and the frats right by us. So yeah, no, it was that's always a crazy time of the year, and I think that was one thing that we missed this year because we would always have to do workouts on that Saturday to make sure that we wouldn't drink the night before, but then also it would keep us from going out during that Saturday. And we would I had one teammate one time, I think my sophomore year, we walked in and our strength coach put on the board Spring Jam Slaughter because he just wanted to kill us as much as he could to make us as tired as possible. So it was like 100 leg presses with like 500 pounds on there with your group. You had to do 100 squats, 100 bench press. It was the most insane workout day. I think he just
that's light work for you though.
I mean, it was light work for me and one of my teammates because we didn't drink the night before. But the third person in the group was hammered and because they went out the night before. They didn't think it was going to be that bad, and it was a funny time.
I mean, there had to be yak everywhere.
No, I'm surprised. No, he literally just went and like sat down, and like our strength coach didn't say anything, but me and the other guy had to make up for his reps. So we would like do a couple reps and just look at him like, come on, like give me something.
You know what? You got better. He did it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Yeah.
But speaking about like the bars and shit that we just dove into, were you like Friday night off season? Were you more of a let's go to the bars with the boys, or were you more like, hey, let's hit up this fraternity, see if we can get into that party?
We usually just went to the bars. I don't know. We never had like a problem with the frats. I know that like a lot of the football players and the basketball players, we just never like really went over there. We weren't really ever friends with them, and we would see them at the bar, and that would be, it would be fine. But yeah, we just never really went over there. We would just usually go to the bar with the boys. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, are you when you guys step into the bars? Is there just like a lot of fan interaction, or do they know like let them be, like let them go fucking get lit with themselves, like relax?
Yeah, so it's funny because it's usually so me and my roommate who was our walk on, we're both two white guys, and I'm 6'6" and he's like 6'3". So I mean we're pretty average height. But then if we walk in with a couple of our teammates who are pushing 6'8", 6'9" and above, then it's like, oh, okay, the basketball team's here. So I feel like me and my roommate sometimes could get in and people wouldn't notice this as much, which sometimes it's pretty nice. But when the whole team was in there, the people kind of knew who we were.
Yeah, of course, that makes a lot of sense. So about that, like sororities, what's the best sorority in Minnesota in your eyes?
Yeah, what's the girl life like?
Again, honestly, I don't think I ever went to a sorority or like a sorority party. I mean, my roommate, has some friends that he knew from high school that went to sororities, and we'd go see them. But I guess I don't know. We didn't really have any like. I guess I couldn't really say any best sorority or anything like that.
Yeah. Fair. All right. So now that you're out of school, obviously, like what was the best bar? I want to know the best bar you went to, like most fun, like which one?
Yeah. So I guess when I was younger, Sally's was the place to go. So it was over by Stadium Village. But then there's a new bar called the College Club, but spelled both of them with a K. And it's the coolest place because it's really new and it's also a block from my apartment, so that's kind of nice too. But it was the place to go when it opened up, and like game days this past year, and for football games because they were pretty good. I mean it was always packed. We wouldn't even go to the games. We'd just go to the bar. I mean, every team would have it on, and it would be packed. And yeah, it was a really good time.
I'm actually glad you brought up football because our next question is tailgate. Like, how was that like? Did you guys tailgate, or was it more just like, yo, let's go drink at the bar and then we'll go about our day? Or did you actually tailgate?
Yeah, I mean, we would usually have recruits there for on campus, and usually usually it's kind of like the freshman or sophomore's job to kind of take care of the recruits and give them a tour. But I would say we'd usually have a meal over by our arena at Williams, and then we would actually just go back to our apartment and just start pre-gaming for the game or whatever, what we were going to do if we were even going to go to the game. So some of the games we would go to, like especially if it was obviously a better opponent or it wasn't freezing cold outside, like the Wisconsin game this past year was snowing. I'm like, listen, I love our football team. We're like undefeated right now, but I'm not gonna watch it from my couch. They'll get my support from my couch.
The weather has to be fucking miserable. Oh my god, it's gotta be way too cold.
Yeah, that's 100% the worst part about it. I mean, obviously, like it's really nice that our apartments were a block away from the facility, so we would have our weights in our gym right there. But yeah, that's always the worst part of the summer or of the school year.
Shout out College Club, by the way, Minnesota. We got a huge plug by Michael Hurt here.
For sure.
That's on campus.
Yeah, so moving off the bars, so what is it like having a younger brother who seems to share the same passion as for basketball like you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really cool just to be in the position we were. So he started playing, I think he played 10th grade his 7th grade year, and he played some B squad and played some JV. And yeah, I mean, it was really, really cool because, again, he got in a couple games when we got up like 30, and it was just cool to kind of get that experience. And then his 8th grade, 9th grade year, which is my junior and senior year, he was starting for us, which was crazy. I mean, I've just seen so many progressions for him along the way. And I always say it, and I think my parents always say it, that was my favorite part of my experience playing basketball. I mean, the tournament, everything was really cool, but getting to start 2 full years with my brother was there's nothing like that.
Did you ever have any moments in practice against your brother where you guys were on opposite teams in a scrimmage or anything like that? Where
you guys just went
where there was a beef or just
like a little Bobby Portis, Nicole Mirotic action going on?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say anything like that. I mean, we both are really, really competitive. He's kind of in his more different. I'm more kind of vocal. He's more like even keel, like never too high, never too low. And I think we bring a little bit of that out in each other. I'm much more emotional or like to kind of express myself during games, and I kind of bring that out of him, and he brought the even keeledness out of me. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'd ever had any like battles like that, but we always loved to go in and play 1-on-1 at the gym or whatever. So yeah.
Who has the most dubs, you or him?
Yeah, he's definitely passed me now. I mean, it's even, you know, his first year away, and now that he's been back since the season got canceled, you know, I've been able to, you know, work him out just because we haven't, you know, had a trainer for him or anything. And yeah, I mean, just being able to work him out and teach him some things that I know just from watching games and being a part of college basketball for 4 years, and you know, hopefully giving him some stuff that'll help him. I mean, it's amazing to see, you know, the progression that he's made from 7th grade even till now. I mean, he just keeps going up and up and up.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
insane. All right, so we're gonna bring it way back, not related to your brother at all. Back to the partying shit about this. So you know what? We talked about football tailgate. You said you pre-gamed. You're in your apartment with some boys. You're playing pong. You're sipping on booze. Whatever you're doing, and your friend's like, "Yo, connect to my speaker. What are you playing? Like, what's the playlist looking like?"
Yeah, so I guess I would say my playlist from like high school going into college was like completely different. Like I listened to like a lot of Drake. Yeah, it was pretty much like a lot of Drake and like a little bit of everyone else. But when I got to college, my teammate Eric Curry, I guess we both just really liked Lil Uzi. I don't know. That's like the number one for either of us. Like we just love Uzi. But other than that, I mean, you know, I like Post Malone. I like a lot of different guys, but I would say Uzi is by far, like, if there's an Uzi song, there's no chance I'm skipping.
Yeah, I mean, Uzi's just, I mean, you can't go wrong with Uzi. It's so easy to turn up to Uzi.
Yeah, I play college soccer, and Uzi, I have a ton of Uzi songs. Like, he's flooded on my playlist.
Yeah, there's always a different vibe that you can get from him, whether it's just chill or, you know, you're having a party, so.
I feel like he's a go-to. He just did recently drop an album. What was your favorite song?
Probably Chrome Heart Tags. I mean, that was, again, like my teammates are all very, very similar. Like me, Dan, Eric, a bunch of the guys. Like we all like the same Uzi. We all like the same type of songs. And Chrome Heart Tags is up there. Prices was up there. Baby Pluto, obviously. But yeah, I mean, we like pretty much the whole thing. I mean, I'll listen to the whole thing like all the way through if I start it.
I'm gonna have to shout out Moon Relay. That's my favorite song.
Yeah, no, I love that song too. I love them all.
I love songs.
No, those are.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Uzi, to be honest. He's just a phenomenal artist.
Mm-hmm. For sure. No, he's awesome.
The shit he pulls though with his album dropping, not dropping, that shit.
Yeah. No, that was the only thing. I mean, he went like 2 years without dropping. Like, I think I'd been to a concert. I think maybe my junior year or my sophomore, maybe my junior year. But yeah, I mean, it was just funny because we were waiting for him to drop an album. I can't remember. He played one of the songs that was on that album at the concert. He played like a minute snippet of it, and we're like, all right, like, when's the album coming out?
How was that concert experience? Like, was it crazy?
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really hot. So me and Eric actually, we ended up buying the VIP tickets, which were like $20 more. So we were at least not in the big ass mosh pit down in the middle, and you know, getting to experience that from basically like, you know, the side is really, really cool.
Yeah, but a nice mosh pit throwing bodies on
Yeah.
When you're oh my, there's nothing like that. That's so
especially when you're plus one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, again, like one of those spring jams, we had Lil Yachty come up, and he played in Minnesota, and I was in the mosh pit, like up towards the front row, and that was probably one of the coolest moments when he played that, because he threw out a bunch of waters out into the crowd. We were throwing up the water when it hit the beat. So man, yeah, that was probably the coolest like mosh pit I've been a part of.
Yeah, I mean, concerts are sick. I went to a Ski Mask the Slump God concert. I mean, he just went crazy. I mean, my personal opinion, the music is unbelievable. You go for the music, but it's more the experience. For some reason, I don't know. I want to hear your take on this, but the hot bodies just like jumping up and down to like the bass drop, like something about that just like hits different.
Yeah, gets the people going.
Yeah. I mean, especially because it feels different, like when everyone like really appreciates the music or likes it, because then it just, I don't know, like you said, it just hits different.
Yeah. So What would you say is the highlight of your Minnesota basketball career? Like, what is your favorite moment? Like, you're like, wow, like I'm gonna cherish that moment forever.
I want to hear. Wait. We want to hear one basketball moment and one non-basketball moment.
Okay, I got you. So I guess basketball, I would probably say winning against Louisville in the tournament last year. So we were up, I believe, and we were killing them. Amir was playing well, Jordan Murphy was playing well, and then Jordan ended up going down actually with 5, 6, 7 minutes to go, and I hadn't played much. I think I may have played 3, 4 minutes. First half and a little bit in the second half. And so coach ended up putting me in towards the end of the game for Murph at the 4. And I'm obviously an undersized 4-man at 6'6", like 220. So it was really, really cool. I was a part of we went on like a 12-0 run, which was just absolutely sick. I mean, that was the coolest part. I think we were actually on the 12-0 run. I got an offensive board. I kicked it out to Gabe for 3, who was just on fire. And I mean, I think the game was down in Iowa, but I mean, it was the loudest environment I've ever been a part of. Like the Gopher fans traveled well, and that was by far the coolest moment I've ever been a part of for sure.
That's got to be crazy. I feel like Murphy's another one of those guys that just like doesn't look too athletic and just dominates the game. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, he looks just kind of like just a big muscle man, but his quickness, whether it was off his first step or his ability to get off the ground is, I mean, it's he's by far one of the toughest players I've ever had to guard in practice.
Did you guys have a different mindset going into the tournament compared to like the Big Ten play? Like what was the team's mentality going into the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm trying to remember who we played in the Big Ten tournament. We lost to Michigan. And then I think they ended up Michigan played Michigan State in the title last year for the Big Ten tournament. And when we lost to them, we were like, we just didn't really play well. We weren't really kind of worried about that. We were just ready to flush it. And then when we saw we got Louisville matched up with us, I mean, we felt like we had such a big advantage with Murph, down low. We didn't think their big men could guard them or guard him. And then we trusted our wings and our guards to, play really well and kind of take over for us. So, yeah, I mean, we thought we matched up really well with them. I mean, I think everyone believes the conspiracies that they kind of set that up as the Patino versus Louisville matchup. But I thought we played, really, really well, and I thought we matched up great with them. So we were ready for it. But then it's funny because we had the cameras there and everything when they did the announcement. I think Michigan State was going to be the team we played in the second round. And I don't know what it is about Michigan State, but we just never matched up well with them. They're just everyone was like, the cameras were still rolling. We were waiting for them to cut them. We're like, oh shit! Like we got Michigan State in the second round.
Yeah.
What was Patino like as a coach? What was his style?
He's very just like blunt and brutally honest. I mean, he'll like tell it to you straight. He's never gonna like sugarcoat anything for you, whether it's in a game, whether it's in a film session, whether it's out on the court. Like he's just never gonna bullshit you. So I mean, that's something you just gotta appreciate because you always know where you stand with him. I guess some coaches or some people try to walk around their coaches or vice versa on eggshells. But I mean, he was always just very brutally honest with you, and he would always tell you why. He would play you, wouldn't play you, whatever it is. So, yeah.
Yeah, like what you said before, how, like, people showed up hung over to, like, those workouts. Like, did Patino ever just, like, fucking go at those guys?
No, so that was the only time that, guys would ever do that. I think it's always, like, the last weekend of the semester. Or, no, it's the second to last weekend of the semester. And we were already done we were in the off season. That would be the only time that guys would do that. But he always did, he always found a balance between when he needed to like kind of get in people's asses and cuss them out, and when he could just kind of let it go, because he could see sometimes if players were getting frustrated, whether it was with each other or just how they were playing, and he would kind of let them just go and let them roll off that steam. Other times he'd know when to get after people.
Yeah. All right. So final question for you. This has been a fucking phenomenal interview, by the way. You've been unbelievable. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
But what was that one fucking moment non-basketball of your 4 years of school where you're just like, holy shit, like this was, I will never forget, like this was so fucking fun. Like I'll never forget
Oh man. Yeah, I couldn't really pick one moment. I would say just all of the memories that I had with my teammates. Whether it was a lot of these spring jam concerts. I mean, those were always the best time of year when it's starting to get warm out. It was 70, 80 degrees, and that's what people stay in Minnesota for, is for our summers, just because how beautiful it can get. But yeah, no, I would say just the memories that I got with my teammates and living with them and whether it was after workouts and just kind of going through the same struggle together is something that you kind of take for granted, I guess. It kind of would have felt different if I would have felt more like, damn, I really miss basketball if we kind of had a more normal off season, just because like a lot of the guys get after season, you get 2 weeks and then you get back and they start working out again, lifting and doing workouts. So yeah, I mean, I think that would have made me miss it a lot more, but I certainly will miss it when it comes here in the fall when they start practicing or they start playing games is when I'll really start missing it. But
Yeah, I mean, that's phenomenal. Thank you so much. We'd like to take this time to shout out our sponsors, which we actually don't have any at the moment because we're fucking brand new. But companies, if you're listening, Michael, I want you to chime in if you have something you would like to sponsor us. I'm going to start off with Manscaped. I think they're a phenomenal company. Everyone needs to trim down. Of course, their Lawnmower 3.0 is elite. Jägermeister right here, phenomenal beverage. You guys kill the game. What would you like to shout out? Like, what should sponsor us?
Yeah, I mean, I think Manscaped is something that, I mean, at least I use personally. So, I mean, that's, I don't know. I've used other trimmers before. It's second to none.
Yeah, there we go. Michael Hurt approved. Manscaped, if you're listening, hit us up. There we go. This was the Buzzer Heaters' first interview. Michael, thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, no problem.
Peace out.
See you.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.